Today, I poured everything that I had in my heart in front of a beautiful girl, my childhood best friend. This is the story of what happened after I confessed to her and got rejected. Let's see what happened before and how the story started.
Her name is Michiru. We used to live close, so we hung out since we were kids. She's my childhood friend. But let us continue with what happened the day before. As the main character approached her from behind, he asked her if she was free later today, to which she replied she had plans with her friend but could take out some time for him tomorrow. She said if it was urgent, she could come by his house later, but he said it was all right. Kids were making fun of him, saying, "How is he close to that beautiful girl?" They were pretty right about it. He couldn't blame them for reacting like that. If they weren't childhood friends, he doubted Michiru would ever talk to him. She is extremely attractive, athletic, and intelligent. She's the literal definition of a school idol. More than anything, she is really kind. On the other hand, the main character is the weakest in the class, does not have any stamina, and makes up stories that no one pays attention to, except Michiru. She used to say he was super funny and would actually praise him for them. Returning to the present, they finalized their meeting for tomorrow, and she had to go with her friend. As she left, the main character thought to himself that he was only here thanks to her and decided that tomorrow, he would confess his love to her. Michiru thought he wasn't acting like himself. What was he thinking about? Was it something important? As the main character came into the center of the city, he saw a large billboard advertising the hit of the century, a massively popular web novel adapted into a movie, Digital Masters, the movie, Infinite Heaven Arena, now in theaters. From kids to young people and old people, everyone was talking about it. People were selling tickets for it. We get to know that it is known as Digimass. As our main character was getting out of the crowd, he bumped into someone, a gangster-like person who tried to attack him, but his girlfriend stopped him, saying he wasn't worth wasting time on and that they needed to go see the next episode of Digimass. Our main character escaped narrowly. Both of those couples were big fans of Digimass. Finally, the day came, and our main character, with all his courage, asked her out. The girl reacted differently than expected. She said with a rout, "Why would I ever do that?" Cold-blooded and cool, the main character was still not understanding what she was saying. She said she was busy anyway, as she was reading the novel, Digimax, or Digital Master. She said there was a new chapter and they could talk later. The main character said that he poured his soul into that confession, yet all she cared about was this novel. The main character tried to approach her, but she just ignored him and said she still had the episode of Digital Master anime to watch. The main character said she should give it more thought rather than outright rejecting him, but she said her heart belonged to the novel, Digital Monster, and he didn't even have a chance. The main character tried to explain, but she cut him off, saying, "Are you trying to say that the author of Digital Monster and you are the same person?" The main character said, "Hold on, is this some kind of joke?" She said she meant exactly what she said. "A joke, that is my life." The main character had been pushed beyond his limits. He had been defeated by an online novel. The main character said that he is the author of Digital Monster, to which the girl outright said he was lying. In desperation, the main character tried to explain that the name of the author, Kimimatsu, was just another way to read his name, but she said it was just a lucky coincidence and there was no way someone like him would ever be close to the author of Digital Monster. The main character even tried to show his original draft of the latest chapter. The girl looked at him and said it was just copy-pasted. The main character tried his best, but the girl had already made up her mind about him. In desperation, the main character held her hand, on which he got smacked. The dreams of the main character were now broken. We saw the girl with extreme anger and a cruel face, saying that she didn't know he could stoop so low as to trample over something she loved. She said, "Listen up, Kimimatsu-sama is 1,000 times more handsome and smarter than you." The main character had been heartbroken beyond expectation. As she left the class, she said not to even try to talk to her for a bit. The main character was now on the ground, crying, and said that he wasn't lying. He made the entire novel because he got encouraged by her and because of her words and encouragement. He used to pull all-nighters writing the novel and poured out his heart, but it looked like she never really took his kindness seriously. The main character was sobbing and crying, saying that it was all in his head and he wanted to die. In a fit of mixed emotions, he said that now that he didn't even have a reason to write, why should he continue writing anymore? Is there any reason left? The main character pulled out his phone and typed on his Twitter that he quit and was retiring from now on. As he posted this message, we saw hundreds of people seeing it in an instant and getting sad, worried, surprised, and feeling every emotion there is. We saw them crying, not believing it, and being beyond amazed and distracted by this news. The main character, looking soulless, got a call from his editor. As he answered the call, his editor asked where he was. He said he was just heading home, and the editor said she would come to his house later. As the main character came home, we saw his sister and mother jumping over him, hugging him, and asking what he meant by retiring. His sister asked, "Why would you quit? Are you getting bullied?" The main character said, "Not really," and asked what had gotten into them. His sister said, "Can you blame us for it? You dropped a drama bomb and said you were retiring. This was a big thing, you know." We saw his mom in anger, saying that if someone hurt her son, she would have a few words with him. The main character said he wasn't getting bullied and it was all okay. As he was sitting on the couch, his family asked him what made him quit. The main character, just getting scared by his sister, and with a sad atmosphere around, said he had lost his motivation in writing. The mother asked him if it was writer's block. The main character said, "No, it's not." The sister cried out to him, saying, "Why? What is the problem?" She was trembling with emotions and said she would die if she didn't read his novels regularly. We saw the mother coming closer, hugging him, and patting his head. She said she wouldn't ask what happened. She loved his work, but she loved him 100 million times more. The main character became emotional. We saw that his sister had the same kind of emotion as both of them were hugging him. His sister said that if he decided it, she would accept his choice. We saw the main character crying too. We saw someone open the door, and the main character's father rushed toward him, hugging him, and asking why he was suddenly giving up. "You cannot give up on this. Even the vice editor will get fired if you quit. You are a treasure to the company, and you cannot retire." He got grabbed by someone, and we saw that it was his wife, saying, "Stop bullying my son." The main character's father apologized for it. The main character said, "How pathetic." We saw a bike near the main character's house. A woman removed her helmet and moved toward the main character's room. She said, "The vice editor-in-chief left this to me." We got to know that she was the editor of our main character. He was surprised to see her. She called him sensei and said, "Hop on the bike." The main character wondered what was going on. She said he was coming with her and she would borrow him for a bit. She said it was her mission to cheer him up from his slump. As both of them got onto the bike, she told him to hold her tightly. The main character was hesitant to hold a grown-up woman. She said, "Just hold me," and they went full speed toward somewhere. The main character thought, "Her hair smells good." They arrived at a fancy place. She apologized, saying this was the only place she could reserve at such short notice. He said it was fine and asked where the other people were. She explained that she booked the entire hotel. He asked how she could afford it, to which she said the company was rich and his novel was the biggest thing in Japan. As they were having food, she said to dig in. We saw them eating nice food, and our main character felt a bit less heartbroken. She appreciated our main character. The main character remembered what his childhood friend said to him and got a bit sad. The editor asked what the matter was. She guessed he got heartbroken by a girl. The main character asked how she knew. She said it was a woman's intuition. The main character said the feelings were one-sided. She asked if he wanted to talk about it, but the main character didn't say anything. He said it was about his leisure suit and embarrassing stories, and he would just get more depressed talking about it. We saw the main character appreciating her calmness and kindness as a mature woman, making him want to let down his guard a little. She said she was glad he didn't have any other problems. She guessed his childhood friend rejected him, and in a moment of desperation, he announced his retirement. But she said at least it wasn't his work or his character that made him feel that way. She said that a reason to write was important. From what the main character told her, she said that the childhood friend was the reason, but sensei, every author has a certain responsibility. The main character wondered what she meant. She told him he had become a hero for people, and just his one text had made it onto the news, making everyone sadder and sadder hearing it. The main character got a bit worried, seeing how much people loved him. Everyone was saying, "I beg you, don't stop. Come back. We need to see if their dreams come true. I don't know how I'm going to live without dramas and other things like that." Everyone loved him. The main character, now emotional, said that for a girl, he left everything and was going to abandon his fans. The editor said she understood he was having a hard time, but there were millions of readers who fell in love with his novel, not to mention his characters, and he couldn't just leave them be. The main character said it was silly and harsh of him, and he regretted how selfish he was. At the end of the day, even his childhood friend's rejection stemmed from misunderstanding. The main character, now without any emotion, said he made up his mind to continue and live for his readers and characters. He said he would retract his statement, to which she ordered red wine. On the other hand, the main character, as the author, got a lot of ruling on his retirement being cancelled in just a few hours. Stick with me as the main character and his image as the author get revealed, and we see the harem he has collected until now. Every girl that loves him and every girl that wishes to marry him will be seen in the upcoming chapters. So just subscribe and wait for it.